Yo, what is up, guys?
Hello, everybody.
How's
it going?
Enjoyed the show. Welcome to our Italian edition of the Truffle Shuffle Show.
We got a carbonara.
We're gonna make a little carbonara
today.
We got a very good friend here today, Michael Zampacini, the incredible accordion player. If you guys could go ahead, give up a big round of applause for him. And so he will be our live music today. Pretty cool. We're very happy to have him here.
Yeah. Change the pace.
So what do you think, Tyler? We got kind of a big one today, huh?
You know it.
Fresh pasta. We got a Paolo Maldini cocktail and making this carbonara sauce.
Yeah, it's going to be well worth it.
So with that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to dig into this. We'll be a little quick in the beginning. We have a very special guest we're going to bring on, kind of chat about the history of carbonara as well. That way we can make sure everybody makes a beautiful carbonara dish today. And so my name is Jason.
I'm Tyler.
And we are Truffle Shuffle. Essentially, myself, Tyler, and Sarah met while working together at a restaurant called the French Laundry. We started Truffle Shuffle in 2018 with the goal of selling enough truffles that we could one day fund our own restaurant. And in 2019, we launched our product line. And then in 2020, we ended up with 20 pounds of fresh truffles and absolutely nowhere to sell them to. So we launched our very first virtual cooking experience. And every single week since then, I mean, how many of these have we done?
I don't even know. I think it's in like 25 or something.
Yeah, we're pretty close to 30. And every single one since then has been completely sold out. And we know we got a bunch of very special guests on here that have been with us for every single show.
There you go. The Hazens.
They're from the Carbonara era.
They're from the Carbonara.
The Carbonara. Dinosaurs from the Carbon era.
The era of carbon.
Awesome. And so, what do you think, Tyler? You want to lead us through the mise en place here?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. So we break these recipes down exactly the way we do at the restaurant, right? So you will be in very good hands the entire time we cook this recipe. And so it's a little bit of a longer recipe. If you've done pasta classes with us before, we have finally figured out the classes take a little bit longer. So thank you for bearing with us for us to figure that out. So, but we break down the recipe basically into 4 different parts, right? And the first part is what we call the mise en place, because we come from the French culinary tradition where mise en place means everything you need, right, to get ready to start cooking. So over here, we like to begin with our cutting board. Oh, look at that cutting board.
As
Absolutely.
you guys see, we got an up top cutting board cam.
Wow.
And you're going to need a pretty big cutting board for this. As you guys can see, this one.
Yeah. And so to be honest, when we do this recipe, I will suggest that you cut the vegetables and the pancetta right on a cutting board. But when you actually make the pasta, you want to just do it directly on your countertop, unless you have something like a pasta board, which obviously you can do it then. But just the kneading process and what you're going to need, right? You're going to need a little more space.
Yep. If this is the only cutting board that you have, you want to go ahead, take that, and just get it out of here.
Oh, get rid of that cutting board.
You can do one of these, right? We're making, you want to set the station, right? The space for your workstation. And you'll need a little cutting board for the vegetables, but for making this pasta dough, you don't want to struggle, okay? You need the right amount of space. And so you need this much space. And so you want to do that, right? And then if your cutting board is smaller than that, then go ahead, clear off a spot on the counter, and you'll be able to make that pasta dough on a little section on the counter.
Yep. Next, we need a large pot. right? Which you want to go ahead, take that large pot, fill it up with water, all right? And get it on the stove on low heat, okay? And basically the reason for that is we want to make sure that we have the pasta pot full of water that's nice and hot later on in the recipe. That way when we need to boil it, we just kick the heat up to high and it's boiling in like 5 minutes, okay? So that is our large pot. You want to put a lid on it, low heat, filled up with water, right? Next, we need a little bit of plastic wrap, which we're going to use to wrap up our dough. Nice. We also need a spatula. Stunning. Then we will need a knife, which I would suggest you use a large knife for this recipe because we're going to hand cut all the pasta, and you need a knife that's big enough that way you cut everything in one stroke, okay? We will also need a large saute pan.
And so this is Cathy Labella. That is a perfect knife and spatula down there. This is the pan that we have used for pretty much every single recipe.
Yeah.
It's about 10 inches by 3 inches, and this is perfect because we can put we can make the sauce in here and put all of the pasta.
Yep. We also need a cheese grater or a microplane.
Well, bam. Over here we have the cheese grater 3000.
Yeah.
One of the finest cheese graters they've ever made. As you guys see here, all aluminum construction, right? No welded handles, all riveted in, just like they make airplanes. Yep. On the front here, we have the large holes. We got kind of a microplane side here. On the back is the part of the cheese grater nobody has figured out what to do with yet, right? And then over here, we have a little, in case you just want one slice of cheese at a time and you are on a desert island and you don't have a knife. We have this nice little section here. It looks like we got Cy and Casey over there. Can we see that cheese grater again? Nice. They have the, I call that the hoarder. You can grate cheese and save some for later. And then over here, we got the Tampa Wine Crew.
What? The Tampa Wine Crew?
Brett, do you know these?
Brett, are you friends of Brett?
And so we got that is the cheese grater 75, is it not? Fits perfectly right into your pocket.
Yeah.
And then it looks like over here, Leah and Max, that's actually a cell phone. I don't know if you can grate cheese on that.
Yeah, you're going to have a tough time grating cheese on that cell phone.
It looks like you're FaceTiming someone. Can we say hi to them? Can we see?
Yeah,
who is on that?
Who is that?
Yo, what is up?
Hi.
Are they, is it like Inception?
Yeah. Is she cooking with us today?
We're on a video call. They're on a video call with someone who's watching our instructions, and then that person's on a video call with someone else watching our instructions. The Inception version of these virtual cooking classes.
Nice. The other piece of equipment you will need is a pair of tongs. Look at that. We have our lovely tongs over there.
Yep. Go ahead, give Michael a little tong clap.
A little tong round of applause.
Karen and David have the tongs just going in circles over there. They're doing a little tong workout.
Wow, look at that.
Very nice. It looks like Krista also knows that workout.
Yep, Krista feeling the burn over there. Get it?
We have some tong attacks happening over here.
Wow, Madison, be careful, please.
Please be careful. You have no idea what tongs are going to do. They're wild animals.
We'll also need a rolling pin for this recipe. Beautiful. Nice. We'll need a fork. Wow, stunning.
Alyssa, that's a perfect rolling pin.
And then we'll need a strainer or a colander.
We just got a brand new strainer
It's pretty exciting.
from Target.
Yep. We'll also need a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. You can line it with like aluminum foil or wax paper too, if you'd like. Basically, we just need something that we can use so we can lift up that pasta later and transfer it into our pasta pot all in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, we need a 1/3 cup measure. Beautiful.
That's a third of a cup.
Yep.
We'll use that for measuring.
Exactly. As the name implies. We need a whisk and a wooden spoon. Jason's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and show you them both at the same exact time.
Bam.
Look at that.
You guys want to see my air drum? Brett, can we show them the air drum over here?
Which one?
Looks like Brett's trying to take a phone call right now. We'll come back to the air drum. All right. So give us a thumbs up if you have all the mise en place needed.
Beautiful. Excellent.
Thank you for the digital thumbs up over there.
Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And so next, we're going to go through the ingredients for this recipe, which I'm just going to go into my kit over here, taking everything out. We have some beautiful snap peas.
Yeah, very nice. In no particular order, we're just going to go through these ingredients.
Yep. We also have our Paolo Mondini cocktail mixer, which I'm going to hold that off to the side. We're going to need that sooner than later. We have some 00 flour over here.
Oh, yeah.
Our lovely Tartufata, which is a mixture of braised button mushrooms, black truffles from Australia, a little thyme, a little sherry vinegar, right? It's going to be so good in this sauce. We have a little pancetta.
Mm-hmm.
We have some cream. A little Parmesan. Our egg yolks. Sorry, our whole egg, our egg yolks, and our olive oil has all been conveniently pre-mixed just for you. We don't do this for anyone else.
Only for you guys.
We also have a lemon. A shallot, right, which we're going to use for making that sauce. Okay? And then we have a little olive oil, right, for making the sauce base, and a little egg yolk to finish, okay? Because we're going to show you how to finish that carbonara sauce with the egg yolk. It's a very classical technique, right? And then last, but certainly not least, we have the one and only wonderful Balinese Truffle Salt. Absolutely stunning.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead, bust that Tartufata open. Give that a whiff. It smells absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Chef Ian and his team worked very hard this week to put this together.
Yeah. And so we found with doing these cooking classes, the way it works absolutely best is if you keep your Zoom video on. That way we can see everyone's beautiful faces, right? And assist guiding you through any difficulties. And then just keep your mute on. And kind of the reason for that, the Zoom audio is a little bit strange. So if we're talking and then if one of you starts talking, the Zoom audio will just jump to you. So if you have any questions at all, we have found it is best to hit up the chat bar.
Yeah.
Right?
And Sarah, what is your chat name today?
We're in your Truffle Shuffle chat support.
And so my lovely wife, Sarah, is doing the chat support today. So you guys can throw any questions that you want to into the chat. She will help answer it. We are also watching it. And then my favorite part about doing these classes is seeing where you guys are all coming from. So find where it says chat, tell us where you're cooking from, and then give us a thumbs up if you want to hear some more of that accordion.
Oh, yeah. All right. We got a lot of Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland, Columbus. Nice.
So we got Sebastian, Chucky, Venice, San Francisco, Tampa, Austin. Unbelievable.
Germany.
What? Wow. We have
Rogel is in Germany?
Rogel is in Germany. Sean and Ann are at the hub of the universe, Boston.
New England.
Gary, where are you cooking from today?
Yeah, Gary, where are you today? What's up, Gary? I love that shirt.
Wow. All right, very cool. And so, Tyler, we made this recipe a little bit ago, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, we have a really, we're doing a totally different dough recipe than we normally do, you know? And it came out really nice.
And where did you get this recipe from?
Well, I got it from Mr. Soprano.
You got it from who?
You know that guy?
I thought
The
we
guy
were
that
gonna,
we owe that money to?
I thought after we paid him all that money, we weren't going to talk to him.
Well, I mean, he gave me his grandmother's recipe, you know? I thought I wanted to really show it off. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to make it that publicly.
Tony
Of course.
Soprano?
Your grandmother brought it over. It must be good. It's very good. My mother's been making it for years.
Hi, everybody. It's Tony's Olivia's mother's grandmother's recipe. Hello. Welcome from New Jersey. How's everybody doing? I hope good.
Good. You done?
I haven't cooked in 6 months because of COVID, but I'm really excited about the truffle shuffle. This carbonara. This is really interesting to me because I've never really worked with truffles. I work with, Italian stuff, like.
We never talk. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and again, since COVID, I've been kind of hiding out, ordering in, if you will, and Tony's no good in the kitchen.
And if you won't,
Say something for me.
I'm getting tired of ordering food. Should have cooked in 6 months.
I've been cooking in 6 months. I don't like wearing masks. I don't like to go out to restaurants.
That's why I was going to ask. How come you're not wearing
Okay, hey, how you doing? Okay, that's our neighbor over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he comes in. We're boarding. We're in Janice's. We're in Janice's kitchen because our kitchen is being renovated, and we can't. Hello. Oh, okay. Good night. Okay, great. Yeah, random people show up here because they want me to cook for them.
Nice.
Probably owe
Hi,
Tony
Mr.
money.
and Mrs. Soprano.
How much
thank you
does
for
he owe
joining us
you?
tonight.
Mr. Soprano, that,
You guys
that
are
money
awesome.
that we owe you is in the mail.
I'm so excited to see you guys. You're very, very entrepreneurial. And I really, you know what? You could shed some light on my daughter, Meadow, and AJ. They would love you because she doesn't know how to cook either. Could you teach her how to cook? She would
We
love
will
this.
teach you how to cook.
You
We're
guys
gonna
would be
teach,
perfect.
Everybody how to cook
Perfect.
today.
Oh, my God. Truffles.
Awesome.
Nice.
Truffles. I'm excited about that too.
Cannot wait.
It looks like John Mahoney over here is cracking up.
John Mahoney, how are you holding up over there?
How you guys doing down there? So if you guys want to go ahead and say what up to Mr. Soprano into the chat.
Yep. Thank him for allowing us to show off his grandmother's recipe.
Absolutely incredible. And so I know you guys need a drink. I know I need a drink. So let's give a big round of applause. We're going to bring Sarah up here.
Hey, everyone. Alrighty. Awesome. So welcome. This is an exciting class today, but I know you guys you've been so patient and you're ready to get started. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So for today, we are making this Paolo Maldini cocktail, and some of you have already made it. That's awesome. Hopefully the instructions were very clear. But what we've done today is this cocktail was specifically created by a soccer player from Italy named Paolo Maldini, and he is a coach now. But basically it was created, carbonara was like his favorite dish. He wanted to find a drink that went perfectly, and this is literally the cocktail pairing for carbonara, which I wasn't even familiar with this cocktail actually until I started doing some research. And so it's meant to be super refreshing, super crisp. So while we're working hard, we're making pasta, we're making this awesome drink that perfectly goes along with it. So it's grapefruit, Aperol simple syrup that we've made, and a little bit of lemon juice too. So this is enough for 2 cocktails. As always, we're gonna put 2 ounces of spirit per cocktail and 1 little note, if you have not made your drink yet, we're actually going to put a little sprinkle of truffle salt in it. So it's kind of exciting too. So the thing is grapefruit, Aperol, salt, a little bit of lemon, tequila, and sparkling water. So it sounds like a lot of things, but really all you need, you got your tequila on hand. We've got a little bit of sparkling water. If you don't have sparkling water, that's totally fine. You can make it without it, but if you have it, that's great too. We've got our mixer and then the truffle salt that you already have when you went through your ingredients. So I'm going to double up my recipe because we have quite a number of people in house today. And if you are drinking, if you're not drinking today and you're going to omit the tequila, just add extra sparkling water and you'll be totally fine. So I am going to take out my lovely little lime wheel garnishes here. Put those into my glasses. Amazing. Add all of the mixer. And I'm going to do this in a little tumbler. If you have a pint glass, you can mix it in there as well. There's obviously no harm in just making this in your glass too. So don't feel like you're lacking any equipment. You can make this a lot of different ways. Awesome. So I'm using 2 mixers for this. I know you guys just have 1. So for yours, you're going to put that whole mixer in there. And then per cocktail, you're going to add 2 ounces of tequila. So if you're making it for 2 people, that should be a total of 4 ounces. I'm making this for 4 people, so I'm going to make that 8 ounces. Awesome. Fabulous. And then we just need a little pinch of truffle salt. Go ahead and do that sprinkle. You guys know how. I know you do. It's got to be outside of the frame, right?
Nice, Sarah.
Oh,
Good job, Sarah.
perfect. Thank you very much. And grapefruit actually loves salt, right? So like we made a mock paloma the other day. You got to have the salt on the rent. It wants something kind of to balance out that acidity. So perfect. We're good there. I'm going to add a little bit of ice to this, and then I'm just going to stir it around, and then we'll be ready to pour this into our glass. So actually, Jason, if I can have a hand from you.
Of course.
Awesome. While I'm doing this and stirring up our cocktail, would you mind putting some ice into our glasses here?
Into these ones?
Into those 4 glasses. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, and you can fill it all the way up to the top. That'd be great.
We got Krista. Krista says, now we know what happened when Don't Stop Believin' started playing. Thanks, Tony. Joe says, all due respect over to Tony there. Nice. This cocktail is awesome, guys.
And then we're gonna leave a little room. I am gonna need that. Thank you. And leave a little room to top this off with our sparkling water. Just about perfect there.
A Palamaldini.
Now we have a Palamaldini.
Has anybody ever had a Palamaldini cocktail before?
Yeah, I'm really curious if anyone's like heard of this cocktail before or had it in a restaurant or as a pairing or seen it on a menu.
John over here is crushing the shaker. Nice. Awesome. Krista, how's that cocktail looking?
Shaker's awesome. Actually, the rule of thumb that I've found, I chose to not shake this one because I wanted to mix it up with salt and just, I find it dissolves a little bit better that way. But shaking, like we learned with the martini, it's going to make your cocktail a little bit more effervescent. And an initial, like very simple rule of thumb is you can think of if your cocktail has acid in it, you're totally free to shake it. If it doesn't have acid in it, you should probably stir.
Oh.
So just kind of something to think about. So you think about like something like a Negroni, right? Or Manhattan, you're probably not going to want to shake those because it's all about showing off the spirit as opposed to, making the cocktail more effervescent. Like what if you had a sparkling Manhattan? That could be kind of cool, but that's not really what we're going for. Anyway, so this one is really fine either way.
So is that why if it's just alcohol, you just drink it straight up?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Awesome. Well, this looks great, Sarah.
Awesome.
We got one here for Tyler.
Yes, I'm sorry. We'll clean up our stuff.
And then here, you want to say goodbye real quick?
Sure. Well, they know where to find me. I'm still in the chat. I'm still here with you guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks so much.
Nice.
So, I'll give you guys a cheers. Hit our cheers cam over here. Perfect.
Nice.
James Atherton said, never had one before. Drinking it feels like scoring a hat trick in Syria A! Exclamation point. Syria. James, I think you lost me on that one. You know what he's talking about?
I don't know anything about soccer, to be honest.
I think it's a soccer reference.
Could be.
Nice.
It
All
is
right.
a soccer reference.
Yeah, it's a soccer reference.
Mm.
Nice. Thank you, Jessica and Ricardo. Well, this is awesome, Sarah.
So good. Nice. So what do you think? Shall we jump right into it? Get to making this pasta?
We're going to make this pasta dough real quick, and then we have a very special guest that we're going to be bringing out. They're going to chat with us about the history of carbonara. But we want to go ahead and get this pasta dough made and resting real quick, okay?
Yep. So first things first, we're going to make this pasta dough, right? Which I know a couple of you have done pasta classes with us before, but we're making a different dough, right? Very different than how we made before. This is a much more traditional egg yolk heavy dough, right? So I'm grabbing my 00 flour, right? Which is perfect for pasta and pizza making. It's the same wheat as like our all-purpose flour,
Mm-hmm.
but it's ground much finer. Because over in Italy, they grind, they have different mills. So, you want to pass me that 1/3 cup? So, what we want to do is grab that container of 00 flour, right? And we're going to just remove 1/3 cup of that flour from that container, okay? Very important. So, I have it off to the side.
Nice.
So, again, container of flour, 1/3 cup removed. So, the reason why this is important is this 1/3 cup now becomes what we call our bench flour.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is really important for making tagliatelle because we need a good amount of flour after the dough making process, right? So just to make sure everyone's on the same page, if you have your 1/3 cup flour removed, please, I would love to see a thumbs up. Please and thank you.
Nice.
Make sure we're all on the same page.
Ansley, can we get a thumbs up over there?
Ansley, how are you doing over there? iPad Mary Beth McKinney.
Nice. Karen Johnson, we got a lot of thumbs up happening over there.
Nice.
Awesome. Mr. Soprano, can we get a thumbs up over there?
Mr. Soprano, do you feel this is thumbs up worthy?
Can we get a thumbs up?
Hello.
That comes the hot dog. We'll make the freaking
Nice to have you back. You know, this recipe is so delicate and so complex, and I'm very intrigued by it. I'm doing all the ingredients. I'm following your directions, and wow, this is very, very subtle but beautiful. And it's very different from what I'm used to in my Italian upbringing. Maybe you can shed some light on that. Like, the subtlety of all of these ingredients is absolutely amazing, but the delicious combinations of things, and I have to get used to it, but I can. I love truffles.
Yeah, get used to cooking again.
And it looks easy, but wow, this is a very beautiful menu here. So I'm boiling my...
Nice. And Carmela, we're actually going to have one of the pasta grannies come on in just a little bit. We just want to make sure we get this dough made, and they'll be able to kind of share with us the history of the dough.
I would love that. I would absolutely adore it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Oh, she knows both. I know
What's our
both.
first step here?
All right, so
Thank you.
we're going to get straight into making this dough, right?
Okay.
So what we need to do is take our hand, right? And using the crane style of Kung Fu, you're going to form that crane. And then just right in the center of that mound of flour, we're going to create our well. All right?
Okay, nice.
And you basically want it to be, you want the base of the well to be the same size as that container of flour that we sent you. See that?
Oh, okay.
Et voila.
Nice. And that way it has enough room for the egg.
Beautiful. So Jessica, this is not the flour we took out. This is the rest of the flour that's in that container, okay? It's about 1 cup of flour, right? So next what we're gonna do is take all the egg yolk, and olive oil container and put it all into that well, all right? Look at that. And so in here is 4 egg yolks and 1 whole egg along with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And basically with this dough, again, all that egg yolks, all the olive oil, it makes for a much richer dough than we've ever made before. So you'll see, it'll make this really beautiful, silky smooth pasta dough. So what you want to do is grab that fork, right? And just stir up that egg and that olive oil mixture just to make sure everything is mixed up together, okay? Just right in the center of that well.
Nice.
See that? Beautiful. So what we're going to do next is take your index finger.
Yeah.
And we're going to basically make a dough hook out of it, right?
Yeah.
So you're just going to place your index finger into the egg and just come around the outside of these egg yolks, right? And we're just going to very gently bring that flour into that pasta dough, okay? See that? And just make sure you don't break that levee, right? If you do, do not worry. We will come in and save the day.
And so let's say someone did break that levee. Is it the end of the day and is this dish ruined?
It is not the end of the day. There's so much day left. And it is not ruined. Basically, if your levee breaks, right?
We got this happening right here.
You're just going to want to take a knife and just scrape that egg yolk back into the levee, right? Yeah, there you go. What you're doing is perfect.
Yep. So you see, basically you'll go in, right? And just to give you guys an idea, I know a couple people, they might have broken their levee. Jessica and Ricardo, the very first pasta class we ever did, these 4 kids were all making pasta. They all broke their levee. And then they just kept mixing it, and they all made the nicest pasta dough. So do not worry.
Yep.
This just helps. What you'll want to do is, Tyler's first going to do this stage, right? And then the next stage after this is the chopping stage, which is where you basically, you go in with your knife and you chop all the flour and egg together. You just want to jump to that stage, okay? So go ahead, grab that knife and start chopping it all together, and then we'll all meet up at the same place, okay?
Yep. Yeah, and so if you did break your levee, we'll come back to you in just a minute here. But as we're going through this, right, you just want to make sure that you're pulling that flour from the edge of that well into the center, right? And what you're going to see is going to happen is the egg yolk is going to swell up with that flour, right? And it's going to start to get thicker, okay? And so basically, if you just think about the reason why we made the well in the first place, is just to hold the wet ingredients, right? That's the only reason. And then we're incorporating the flour into the egg yolks until it's at a point where it's easier or it's no longer runny, right? So again, I'm over here incorporating my flour into my egg mixture, right? And you can see as the flour gets pushed out, we just want to gently nudge it back in towards the egg yolks. Okay?
That's looking great.
Look at that. And so this is how mine is coming along. But if you are going ahead and mixing together your eggs or your flour into your eggs, we would love to see what you guys are working on.
Yeah, go ahead. Take that camera over to the levee. All right,
yeah.
let's see that pasta well.
Let's see that pasta well.
Kathy and Labella, that's looking really nice over there. You guys are back on track. All right, Madison and Jenny.
Tell them that the winds and the labellas are together.
Yeah, we should say that. We should say this.
Say the winds and the labellas are doubling.
We got Linda and James over here.
And then just start typing.
And then we got Sarah, how's that pasta going? And then we got Rajiel, apparently is in Germany. And then how about Jessica and Ricardo? How you guys doing? And then we got Sasha Pilch. Sasha, how's that pasta dough looking? Good. Awesome. We got Joe over here. Joe, that's looking great. We got James. James Appleton. James is a sports fan, guys. And
Nice.
we got Joe Mahoney. And then we're gonna go back over to Chef Tyler.
And as you're incorporating the flour into that dough, right? You got to make sure that you're not going to break the levee, but don't be too careful about it. You know what I mean? Like, again, if you break the levee, it's not the end of the world. At the very end of the day, all we're doing is just incorporating the eggs into the flour. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Very straightforward.
Yep.
And so basically you want to keep working your finger around, keep incorporating that flour in, right? And you'll see a dough will start forming. And this is how you make pasta dough by hand. And so I know, again, some of you have done the classes with us before. We like to teach you how to make everything by hand, right? That way you can really feel what's going on in the process, okay? You can make this in a KitchenAid with a dough hook and just throw everything in there and turn it on, right? But what you miss with that is the little details, right? As you're making the pasta dough and what it feels like. So again, as you can see, you start to incorporate enough flour where basically the egg is no longer running, right? You see that?
Yeah, look at that.
And you formed kind of a little dough, right? So what I'm going to do at this stage, and kind of Jay was referring to it before, is I'm just going to take the extra flour that I have, bring it all into this pasta dough, and just using my fingers, just press the rest of that flour into those egg yolks, okay? And again, you'll start to see that dough will form. Look at that.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Awesome. And then Annie, let us know how you're doing. If you want us to come over there and help diagnose that, we totally can. Just put it into the chat, and then we'll have someone find your screen, okay?
I got it right here. You want to okay?
We'll see if she wants our assistance first. If she does, we'll come over. But you guys are looking good. Kathy, Lavella,
Yeah.
back on track over there. All right, Annie, what is up?
What's up, Annie?
All right, let's see that pasta dough.
How's it looking?
Kind of like that. I tried to
Nice.
put it in. It's kind of, yeah, I just have stuff all over my hands.
Yeah, so that's exactly where you want to be. You can see how much stuff I also have on my hands. Look at that. So we are in the same exact spot, Annie, right? So you just got to stay with the course and just keep going.
Yeah, so Annie, you'll mix it around, and what you can do is actually take a knife, and you'll go in there, and you'll go underneath it and pick it up and start chopping.
Yeah.
Right? And if you start chopping it, basically it's pretty simple. You have your amount of eggs and then your flour, and your main goal is just to expose as much of the flour to the egg as possible.
Yep. You're just incorporating all those eggs into that 1 cup of flour, basically. That's it.
And with pasta, kind of the way I look at it, right, and I am not an expert by any means. All the pasta I ever learned how to make, I learned how to make at the French Laundry. And what I learned is you get the recipe, right? And if that recipe is tried and proven, like the one we've supplied you guys with here, from there, there's a lot of while you're doing it, you think you're messing it up, right? Every step, you're like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And kind of what you got to do is just be like, all right, I'm going to be confident in the process, right? Making pasta dough is almost like it's like a technique in building a little bit of confidence, you know?
Yeah, and that's why we're here too. Make sure you get there. So if you can look at the camera up here, you see how it forms like a very kind of shaggy looking dough, right? And you see there's a little bit of this mixture that's stuck to my cutting board, right? What I'm going to do is once I've gotten to that stage, I'm just going to take a knife and just clean this up, right? And just get it out of my way.
Nice.
Okay? Just get it out of my way. So, and if your hands still have some dough on them, if you just rub them together.
Yeah, if you rub them together like you're trying to start a fire, all that little bit, the bits of dough will flake off.
Yep. And so pretty much we have the dough formed into the shaggy ball. And when we do these cooking classes, many of you might be a step and a half, maybe a full step behind us.
Yep. Yeah.
And honestly, that's by design, because we're going to stop at strategic points throughout the cooking process and let everyone catch up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have my shaggy dough formed over here like this. And I know some of you are still bringing those eggs into that flour, but I'm just going to chat about the kneading process real quick, because you'll all see this will give us plenty of time for everyone to catch up.
Uh-huh.
So basically, I'm going to take the heel of my hand, right, and just place it on top of this dough, right? And I'm just going to apply pressure and roll the dough forward, right? So it rolls, right? And then I'm going to take it, fold it in half, and repeat that process. And what we're doing here is we're kneading the dough, all right?
Nice.
Pasta dough requires a lot of kneading. You could say it's a kneady dough, right?
It's a kneady dough.
It's a kneady dough.
It needs some attention.
It needs some attention.
Needs a little love.
And so as you can see over here, and this is a very important step, if you guys want to watch what I'm doing, when you start kneading the dough, you got to make sure that your work surface is clean, okay? It's got to be clean, because if it's not, you're going to have the dough is going to stick to the little pieces that you left on the surface. So just take a second, clean it up before you start kneading the dough. And again, we got this camera angle over here. You see that? So you see the palm or the heel of my hand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to lay it on top and then press down and move forward. You see how it rolls like that?
Yeah, nice.
Jason, can you see that?
I can see it.
Hold up. Can you get a little closer?
It's looking very nice.
Wow.
It's moving.
So you see that?
Yeah.
That's what you want.
That's what we want.
And so what's going to happen is your dough might start getting a little sticky, right? You see how it's stuck to my surface?
I can see it from here.
So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of flour.
Yeah.
Just barely sprinkle it on my work surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then keep kneading. And basically the goal is you want to add as little flour as possible to the dough in the kneading process, right? Basically only if it starts sticking to your work surface do you want to add flour. So again, I'm just going to keep kneading this dough over here, right? And this is how my dough's looking. But let's see your doughs over there. We'd love to see how is the kneading process going. Do you need us to look at it? Karen Johnson.
She's keeping.
I was going to say.
Her chef has a close eye on that.
Your chef is keeping a close eye on you. Beautiful.
Awesome. So
excellent.
Put that camera on the kneading process of this dough.
Yeah, Leah and Max, that looks great.
Madison and Jenny, you guys are looking good over there.
Madison and Jenny.
And we got Loretta Rolfe.
Oh, Loretta Rolfe.
Wow, look at this little chef.
What is up over there?
What is up, guys?
How are you guys doing? Good to see you.
We got a little sous chef.
We got the sous chefs involved. Wow,
Kit,
look
excellent camera angle.
Look at this kneading angle.
We got Vincent's A's iPad. Vincent A's iPad. What is up, Vincent?
Wow.
And then we got Linda and James. Let's see that. Can we see that dough there, Linda? Nice. Awesome job.
Aaron Hupp, look at that dough.
Where's he at?
Look at this little sous chef over here.
Man. What is up, Aaron?
Oh, look at that. Let's see that dough there.
Let's see that dough.
Oh,
nice. Nice job.
Wow, you are doing an incredible job there, young lady.
And then we got Jacob and Jordan Costner over here. Perfect.
Wow.
Dough roll and angle. What do those t-shirts say?
Yeah, what do those t-shirts say? I'm just here for the food. Nice. Okay, cool.
Nice. All right, and then Annie, let's see how that dough's looking.
Yeah, Annie, how you doing over there?
I don't know. I don't know. It looks like this.
Let's see it. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so believe it or not, you're very close. I know it doesn't feel like it. Okay.
It feels dry.
And so it feels dry because your levee broke. And now what you need to do is you need to work it where you're working the wet eggs into the dough, into the flour, right?
Yeah. And so basically, Annie, can you do me a favor? Can you lift up that kind of shaggy looking dough for me? Just lift it up and show it to me. Perfect. Now, you see everything else that's on your cutting board?
Or a workstation?
You're going to take a knife and scrape all that out of your way. Just get all that out of there. And you got to angle your knife a little bit sometimes to really, exactly. You see that?
Yeah.
Use it like a bench scraper. So completely clean off your work surface and then start kneading your dough the way I'm doing over here. And basically you're going to see the flour in your dough right there is going to get hydrated by all those eggs and egg yolks. And it always looks dry, but then once you start kneading the dough, it becomes more hydrated, okay?
And so at this stage, where she has the dough right now, she should go into the kneading stage, right?
So start kneading now that you have it on that cleaner work surface, right?
Yep. So Annie, if you want, you can watch. We'll go to Tyler's camera. You can watch Tyler for a second, and then you'll just kind of follow the same steps, rinse and repeat, shampoo style.
Ooh.
So as you guys see here, I will narrate the kneading of this dough with a little nice accordion music in the background. So what Chef Tyler is going to do is he's going to put the palm of his hand on that dough, and then he's going to press down and roll it forward, right? And then he's going to use his hand to fold the dough over, press down again, and then repeat. And then so you're pressing, folding, repeating.
Yep.
All right.
And so you'll see, it just starts to create, it just starts to look like Play-Doh, okay? And honestly, working with pasta dough is exactly like Play-Doh. And so, Ilana, that looks great over there.
Where is Ilana?
Right there.
Ilana, let's see that pasta dough.
Yeah, Ilana, how's that pasta dough look?
That
nice.
looks really nice.
So you want to keep kneading that dough, though, to be honest. You need to knead it a little bit more, and then it'll become really nice and silky, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because the dough needs to hydrate just a little bit more.
Awesome.
Perfect. So pretty much I'm at a stage right now where we are ready to rest this dough. So what I want to show you is what my dough looks like, okay? So you see how I've formed it into a ball. And first of all, just admire, I always love looking at this kind of pasta dough. Just look at how silky smooth this dough is. It's so beautiful. This is a much richer dough than what we normally make on this cooking class, right? And so what you want to notice over here is when I press into the dough, it springs back at me. You notice that? So I press the dough and it springs right back at me. It's pretty cool. So that's basically the gluten that's formed in the pasta dough. Gluten is very important in the pasta making process. So you'll notice later after we let this dough rest, it's not going to spring back in the same way. And so Jay, you mind grabbing me a little piece of plastic wrap?
I got the plastic wrap coming right over.
So what we want to do is just grab a little piece of plastic, right? And you just want to wrap this dough in that plastic. And what that's going to do is just make sure the dough doesn't form a skin on it, right, as we rest it. So this is my dough over here. And I'm just going to rest this dough off to the side, okay? So I know we kind of went through that. I know pasta sometimes seems like it's a little bit daunting of a process. But honestly, as long as the recipe is correct, which I guarantee you it works every single time, you just got to mix everything together and then just knead that dough. So if you have your pasta dough finished, wrapped up, please go ahead and show it to me in the camera. Let me see that dough. Hold your dough up. I want to see your dough. Oh, yeah, Karen Johnson. What? Look at that dough over there.
Dough over here.
Wow.
Yeah, Max. That dough's looking great. You guys see Kathy, Labella. They came back. from the levee break-in. Let's see right there.
Yeah.
Amico, that is looking great. Karen, that is looking great.
Wow.
We got the dough dance.
Nice dough dance over
We got
there.
Cy and Casey. They're doing the show and sip.
And then
Very
Karen,
nice.
what do you pair well with?
Tiffany, that is looking great.
Wow.
I like that. Did you get that double cocktail glass just for these cooking shows?
Gary is in the sunset right now.
As you guys see, Gary is currently in the sunset.
Gary is watching the beautiful sunset over in St. Helena. Wow. Nice job there, Aaron Hups.
Awesome job, guys. And then we got Rajiols. I'm sorry, I know
All right.
I'm not saying your name right.
I know
That looks awesome.
normally it's Raj, so.
What's up, Raj?
Team Raj, what up? Look at that dough.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Really nice job, guys. And so, Sean and Ann, what if the dough doesn't spring back? They got to knead it a little bit more, right?
Yeah, just keep kneading it, Sean and Ann.
It just
You cannot over knead the dough. You can't do it.
it just needs a little bit more kneading.
It just needs a little more attention. We told you this dough is kneady, right?
And so while this dough is resting, before we get into cutting the items for our sauce, I'm very excited to bring out a very special guest, right? And so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the pasta grannies.
I love them.
And so you can Google it. They have some awesome YouTube channels. They kind of show the classic way to make some of the best pastas in the world. They have a cookbook out, right? And I reached out to them and I was put in touch with a gentleman named Chef Pino. And so we're going to bring him and his wife, Chef Julia, out. And they are currently in Rome, right? And I would say there is no one better to talk to you guys about the traditional way to make carbonara than Chef Pino and Chef Julia.
Yes.
So if you guys are watching right now, give them a big round of applause.
Yeah. Buonasera. How's everybody?
Excellent.
So good.
Good. So my name is Pino. This is my wife Julia. We're both chefs. I'm a chef. She's kind of a chef. She's a pastaya. She's a pasta expert. That's why she works with this project that you mentioned, that it's pretty awesome because it's saving recipes from all over Italy and the US. And so it has an anthropological value because a lot of recipes are disappearing. And so this lady, Vicky, who started the project, really wanted to save the recipe, started traveling around Italy and filming these older ladies whose daughters or granddaughters didn't have time to stay in the kitchen with them. And so they're taping all this important stuff, and it's for free online, so you can watch the YouTube video anytime you want inspiration for dinner.
Nice. And then Chef Pino, Vicky said that you guys run the best cooking school in all of Italy. Reno and Farina. Is that true?
All of Rome, not all of Italy. Yes,
So-
we do a lot of Roman cuisine, Italian cuisine, some French cuisine, because we both worked in Paris for many years and in New York. But yeah, of course, the focus is Italian cooking, and carbonara in Rome is a religion. You guys have no idea. People have fights about the recipe, which one should be the original one. And there are many stories, and often people order it at the restaurant and immediately they become food critics and they want to talk about their version of the recipe and so on. It's quite funny, actually.
And so we'd love if you could share kind of your impression of the history of carbonara. You shared some interesting things with me on the phone that I had never heard of.
Yeah, it's even many Italians don't know about this. The recipe was invented by a chef not from Rome, even though carbonara is the symbol of Roman cuisine, but a chef from northern Italy, from around Bologna, which is the equivalent of Lyon for France. And I mean, it's really the food center, the food capital of Italy. But long story short, that towards the end of World War II, this chef was assigned to cook for the American and English troops, military. And he didn't have that many ingredients. He had some bacon from the American army and some dehydrated eggs from the English soldiers. And he had some milk, some cream, some black pepper. He was embarrassed because he never tried to mix everything together, but the soldiers loved it. And then he did the second time the same recipe in Rome, and he started refining it a little bit. But it was actually the Americans who brought back the recipe with them, and it became huge on the East Coast. And then eventually in Rome, they started opening a bunch of restaurants serving carbonara. And because we have this great ingredient, which is guanciale, cured pork cheek, they replaced the bacon with this. It's more fatty. Not everybody likes it outside of Rome. Has a stronger flavor than pork belly. And now basically all the other ingredients are gone. There's just eggs, guanciale, pasta of course, a little bit of pepper. And sometimes if you bump into a guanciale or pancetta or bacon that it's not fat enough, some rendered lard at the beginning. And the use of starchy water, of course. In a restaurant, you cook so much pasta that the pasta water is like glue. So it's free creaminess without adding dairies, right? Which is a big no-no here in Rome. Dairies in general, people don't like them that much, butter and so on. So so now the recipe has been simplified, and it's pretty good. But yours sounds amazing with truffle and all that. Julia, who's the pasta expert, can tell you about the few pastas that are usually paired with this sauce.
Yeah, so actually what you guys are making, tagliatelle or fettuccine today?
Tagliatelle.
We're gonna make tagliatelle. So actually, yeah, we were saying earlier, that's one of the classic pastas that one would use with this particular recipe, or actually any long, thin pasta. So spaghetti or tonorelli, which is the name that they use in Rome for any sort of thick spaghetti. They would also use something called pici or stringozzi, which are other names for this thicker spaghetti throughout Italy. But the reason that we use the long flat or the long round pastas is because when you're actually going to mix your carbonara sauce with the pasta, the action of those long strands of pasta works like a whisk and actually allows you to make that beautiful creamy sauce without actually having to add butter or cream if you don't want to. So there's a real purpose behind having the form of the pasta that they usually serve carbonara with. However, in Rome, sometimes you'll find restaurants that will serve it with rigatoni, which are the large tubes, but that's really requires a lot more sauce because you don't have the action of the long strand to make the emulsion. The emulsion, exactly. But you know, Romans like their boxed pastas a lot more than their handmade pastas. So rigatoni is the easy one to go with.
Nice. And then what type of pasta do you guys like to serve it with?
Oh, generally when we're doing our pasta class that we serve carbonara in, I will roll out an amount of pasta and do fettuccine or tagliatelle, but I'm using the long rolling pin, the one that's over 1 meter long, and I'm ending up with a sheet of pasta that's the size of a small tablecloth. So it's a whole nother deal from what you guys are doing tonight.
Nice.
It's fun to watch.
It's pasta making on steroids, basically.
Yeah. That's why we're not showing our bellies here, because we eat so much pasta.
That's right, from the shoulder down.
Very cool.
Oh, man.
And so we'd love to open it up. If anybody has a couple questions for Chef Pino and Chef Julia that you'd like to ask about, you know, maybe pasta or carbonara.
Sorry about the noise. There is a fireworks going.
Nice. Well, what is the celebration?
probably a birthday.
Or the end of summer, who knows?
Who knows? One thing, I know that guanciale, I'm gonna close this window.
And so, yeah, I'd love to kind of hear more about guanciale, right? And so it's not something that
Guanciale
in America
is this big muscle of this side of the pig that it's first marinated with usually garlic and some wine and stuff like that. Then it's covered in pepper and you let and salt, of course, and you let it cure for a long time. It's the same techniques that one could use for prosciutto or duck breast, but it doesn't take very long because it's a small part. And this region of Italy, Latium, has a lot of good pig products and stuff like that. And we support the city of Amatrice. We buy all the guanciale from them because Amatrice was hit by the earthquake, and so they need support. So every time also we teach their class, we give them a little percentage and so on. And according to Romans, there is really no substitute, but I don't agree. Pancetta is really good as long as it's not too smoky. Because keep in mind that our recipe is not there is no onion, there is not much. So you need a few pure flavors, otherwise you cover the flavor of the eggs. Because basically carbonara is about this pork and egg, like bacon and eggs. That's why the American and British troops loved it. So any additional flavor would, move it from that concentrated flavor. Sorry,
we got.
No problem. And so we got one question here. So that is very interesting. Americans do love bacon and eggs. Let's see a thumbs up if you love bacon and eggs out there.
Yeah.
Pretty solid, unanimous yes. We have this small child over here also loves bacon and eggs. Let's see that again. Look at that thumbs up. So we have one question here, and it is, where does the name carbonara come from? That's an excellent question. That's coming from Davika.
It's a very good question. And so originally people thought that it obviously comes from the word carbone, carbon, which means coal in Italian. And at the beginning, when the chef who invented this recipe didn't reveal that was his, people thought that it was even older and invented by the Carbonari, who were a group of politicians who worked under the table, so to speak, in secret to unify Italy. So there are stories, with cooking history is always complicated, but there are stories that these guys were already making a kind of a carbonara by using just scrambled eggs and pepper, no bacon, and they would cook it in these basements where the only thing that they could use they couldn't do a fire because there was no oxygen, so they would use the how do you say caldaia, the boiler room heat, burning coal, of course. So these are all stories, legends. We don't know for sure. Definitely there is no carbon in the in the recipe, but besides the carbs in the pasta.
Awesome. And so we have one more question here. It is from Toby. They want to know what is the name of your restaurant? But Toby, so they have an awesome cooking school. And so you want to just share a little bit about that? And then we're going to, at a good stage where I think the pasta dough is rested pretty well.
Let's see, our cooking school, we don't have a restaurant. The cooking school is called Grano e Farina, Scuola di Cucina, grain and wheat, Grano e Farina. We'll write it down for you. And it's in Trastevere, so it's in the heart of Rome. It's right at the one end of this medieval section of Rome, if you all know it, not far from the river, very centrally located. And we give courses. Well, at the moment we're doing about 3 days a week, simply because with COVID we don't have a lot of people around. But normally we were doing 5 days a week, and we have over 25 different classes you can choose from. We have a pasta section. We have a bread and specialty section, which would include pizza and olive oil tastings and butchery. And then we do some charcuterie. We do sort of French, a bit of French cuisine as well. And then Pino has a whole section on pastry, so Italian and French pastries. But all the pasta gets done with me because, like you were saying earlier, I'm the one who works with pasta grannies. And so actually, we were saying before, they do have a cookbook. If you guys are interested, you can take a look at it. It's really great. It has about 80 recipes, and all the pasta and the hands of the photos of the hands are mine in it. And so that's sort of fun. I get to go around Italy and work with Vicky, who is the woman who invented the project, and I get to study with the grandmothers, which means that now I can actually give you lessons in over 85 different types of pasta entirely by hand, no machines allowed. So.
Wow, incredible. Well, Chef Pino, Chef Julia, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys.
You guys
It was
give
great.
a round of applause. Say thank you. I hope if you guys can hit gallery view, you can see everyone on the class. Incredible. And I got the link up for you guys' cooking school, and Sarah will throw the link up for the pasta grannies. Thank you so much. And
yeah,
what time
Have a
is
wonderful
it in
carbonara
right now?
night.
Have fun.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Prego, prego.
Awesome. All right, Tyler,
Beautiful.
what is next in this recipe?
Excellent. So next we're gonna cut all the vegetables and the pancetta.
Incredible.
So I thought of no one better than Jason McKinney himself.
How you guys doing?
To walk us through how to do these couple projects.
Awesome. And so we're going to start with that shallot. So go ahead, grab that shallot. And in your shallot, you have two ends. You have the frilly end, right? And then you have the root end. And so the frilly end is actually what grows out of the ground, right? So what we want to do here, and you guys can see on our little cutting board camera, is you're going to nip that frilly end, right? And then you're going to cut that shallot in half, okay? So that it lays flat. And I'm going to show you guys the simplest way possible to cut this shallot. And so with shallot, they have layers, right? So you want to go ahead, get that skin layer off, right? And so with shallots, they'll have the skin layer. And then there's also usually the first layer of the onion is a little fibrous. So go ahead, pop that off. And get it to where the shallot is ready to be chopped. Okay, I got that there, looking great.
And I know we use shallots a lot on in these cooking classes, but honestly, that's because they have a really nice balance between like an oniony flavor and almost like a little bit of garlic too. So I don't know if Pino would accept us putting shallots in it. I know it's a little French, but we're going rogue over here.
But that was super cool. I mean, I can't even imagine how delicious the pasta that they make is over there.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so we got our shallot here. The root end is facing away from us, right? And super simple. What we're going to do is go in and get nice little slices, okay? And I can do this very slow, okay? So I'm going to go in, and basically what we're doing is we're leaving the back 10% of the shallot intact, and we're just trying to get as thin of slices as possible. You guys see that? So we get as thin of slices as possible. And then we come in, and we're going to slice down. Okay, so super simple, and you're basically using the onion's natural layers to be able to mince it, okay? And you'll go back and you'll leave that 10% of that shallot intact, okay? And watch, I got a couple more we're gonna do here together, all right? So I got this one here, and I'm going in, getting it as thin as possible, slicing it this way, and then turning it and going down. And don't worry about being crazy perfect, all right? I know you guys are all working hard out there. I know you've also been drinking some cocktails. So don't worry about getting too crazy perfect. We'll go through and kind of roughly chop it all together at the end, okay? All right, so now I got this guy here. I'm gonna come in, just nice as thin of slices as possible, and then turn it and slice down. And And once you guys get into cutting these shallots, basically, there are 2 ways you can make it where you don't cry as much. Okay? 1 is you have a sharp knife. 2 is you want as much circulation as possible. Okay? So in a professional restaurant, you have the hoods, and they are moving air all around. And that's why when you're chopping onions in a restaurant, you usually don't cry. But when you're chopping onions at home, that's why you cry, because that air is not moving. Just like they say that if you were to cook as much as you do in a restaurant at home, your entire house will just smell all the time. Okay? And so we got Chef Karen's sous chef over there. It is okay. Tyler says that if you cry from chopping onions, it's because you are not tough enough.
Oh, Tiffany's got the goggles.
I've literally never said that.
All right, we got Chef Tiffany with her onion goggles over here.
Look at that. You can also use onion goggles.
You can also make onion goggles with plastic wrap.
I don't think you can do that. That might be a health hazard or something. That's a safety hazard.
You totally can.
Someone is getting in on the slap chop.
Sarah is getting in on the slap chop, getting her aggression out.
Sarah, how is that slap chop coming along?
Sarah, could we see the slap chop? All right, so now I'm going in and I'm just chopping it like this, and that's it, okay?
Whoa, scary. Do those things actually work?
Yes.
I think so.
I always think that the knives might be.
The blades get dull?
Yeah, they get really dull.
They do. I think that's where the aggression comes in.
Yeah, so you just use force.
All right, so you guys see I got my onions chopped here, and we're going to get these into a little bowl here. Okay, and then Jessica and Ricardo, looks like they have a question here. They say, the heck, one word, is chiffonade. So Jessica and Ricardo, 1, it's very nice to see you enjoying that cocktail. 2, Sarah will give you guys an answer on what chiffonade is, okay? It's a way to finely slice herbs or onions. Okay, so I got my shallots chopped. Showed them to our up top cam here. Kathy LaBella, those shallots are looking great. And then we're gonna go in and slice our snap peas. And so do you guys know how to see if your sugar snap peas are ripe or not? What you like to do is taste them. And if they're sweet, then perfect. If they're not sweet, it means they've been sitting for a little too long. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and line up these snap peas and chiffonade them. So Jessica and Ricardo, I hope you're paying attention. To chiffonade it, what I like to do is we're going to go in and we're slicing. What do we want here, Tyler? About 1/4 of an inch?
Yeah, and so as you see, he cut off the end of that snap pea because the end is a little bit fibrous. It's a little tough to eat, right?
Yep.
So you see he's lining up a couple peas at once, right? And then basically you just want to trim off the end, right?
Trim off the end. That goes into either your stock or compost. And then I'm going to come in, right? And I'm lining about 5 or 6 up at a time and getting these nice in chopped. These are going to be great.
And the reason why we add these snap peas is because the kind of carbonara, personally, I always like a little bit of kind of that really nice sweet pea flavor, right, in the carbonara. And also, the way we're going to show you how to cook them, they retain that crunch. So it adds that really nice fresh texture. Because otherwise, first, I think carbonara can get a little heavy sometimes if you don't add that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go add peas, add a little bit of lemon zest in order to freshen it up just a little bit.
Yep. So I'm on my last ones here, but you guys look like you're doing a fantastic job out there. We want to see some of those knife skills, okay? So go ahead, show either the shallots or the peas right up to that camera. And then Sarah's going to start spotlighting you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Kathy looking great there.
Looking
Onion
good
looks
there.
great. Those peas are looking great. Linda and
Linda.
James.
And Linda, happy birthday over there. I heard we got a birthday going
Yeah, happy
on.
birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday, Linda.
Thank you.
Birthday, Linda.
Thank you for
Thanks
spending it
for
with us.
on it and
There you
Cliff and
go.
Elizabeth
Got
celebrating my
all the
birthday.
family over there.
Awesome. Jessica and Ricardo, you guys are nailing that chiffonade. You can even go just a little bit bigger if you want to. Those shallots look great. What is up, Jessica? Nice. Then we got Mark's iPhone. It's either a 7 or a question mark. Those are looking great. It almost looks like a 3 Michelin star dish. And then we got Cy and Casey distributing the workload between the two of them.
Keeping the work separated.
Keeping the work completely separated. Then we got Jordan and Jacob Posner at Midwest _food something.
She's here for the food.
Food Fest. They are here for the food. Nice job, guys. And then we got Annette. Annette looks like she's running an entire Italian kitchen over there.
Wow.
Awesome job, Annette. How about Alyssa? Alyssa, how you doing over there? You doing good? Okay, nice. All right, awesome. So I got both of these chopped. Now we're going to go into that pancetta. And about what size pieces do we want of this pancetta? Chef Tyler.
Yeah, so we're gonna cut it into basically half an inch dice.
Okay. So we're going to go down. We're going to cube it.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to go in the cube in this.
Yep. And so all you want to do is cut strips, and then you basically just want to cut little cubes, right?
Yep.
So we send you the pancetta. The pancetta, I know we're talking about pancetta versus guanciale. Pancetta is belly, right, of pork.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the pork belly, it's cured, and it's rolled, right? So it's similar to bacon, but it's different in that it's not smoked, right? And it's not, bacon is not rolled. So it's basically bacon, just not smoked. It's a very similar flavor.
And we wanted to use pancetta in this instead of bacon because bacon with the truffles is almost too overpowering.
Yeah, it's like, it's just a little too smoky.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting some nice dices here.
And we're just cubing it up, right, into those kind of half-inch cubes because when we render this in the pan later, the pancetta is gonna get really small as it cooks, right? Because there's no because the fat is gonna render out, and the pieces of pancetta will actually get smaller. So that's why you want to dice it. I know it's larger than our shallot and our snap peas, right? But they're gonna get smaller as they cook.
Yep. All right. Beautiful. And so now we got our pasta dough, our peas, our shallot, and our pancetta all chopped. We'll show you guys this on our up top camera. Well, bam.
Beautiful.
The carbonara.
That is the carbonara mise en place. Okay.
Awesome. It looks like it is also Davika's birthday. Happy birthday, Davika.
Happy birthday, Davika. Nice. Davika and Linda, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Awesome. And so now we're going to roll into, what do you want to do? You want to make the sauce or roll the pasta out?
Yeah, so we're going to make the pasta, we're going to make we're gonna roll the pasta out, okay? So over there, if you have your snap peas cut, right? If you have your shallots minced, the pancetta cut, right? And this pasta is resting, we would love to see a thumbs up to know that you are on the same page as we are. Oh my gosh, Karen Johnson, that's the most excited thumbs up.
Ansley, we need a thumbs up to move forward. Ansley, can we get a thumbs up over there? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. How are these dinosaurs doing?
Yeah, Krista, how is the Carbonara over there?
We got Britton and Drew Wadler. They got the dancing thumbs up.
Yeah, they do.
So it looks like we got a couple more people.
Nice. We got Janelle Rolfe over there too. What up, Janelle?
Where is she? Okay. Awesome. And then Annie, how are you looking over there?
Janelle and Jeremiah.
We got the digital thumbs up coming from Chef Annie over there.
We got the confirmed digital thumbs up from Annie.
Awesome. We got some thumbs up over here.
Chef Vincent. Beautiful.
Chef Vincent.
And then Team Raj, how are you doing over there?
And then over here we got
Loretta.
We have Karis and Cameron. What is up? Thank you for cooking with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we get a thumbs up over there? Nice. There's something going on at Kathy's. I'm not exactly sure what's happening down there.
The partying, man.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So Chef Tyler's going to show us how to roll out this pasta dough.
Beautiful. So we have all of our vegetables, right, cut up over here. And what we're going to do next is roll out this pasta dough, okay? So if you want, go ahead, take that pasta out of that plastic wrap.
Uh-huh.
And you'll see, you remember how before I had you press into the pasta and it sprung back at you? But now you can press into this pasta and it is not springing back. As you can see, it is very happy pasta over there.
You got some happy dough.
We got some happy dough going, right? So if you have some happy dough, we would love to see your dough. Yeah, there you go.
All right, Sean and Ann, that's looking great.
Shauna Ann.
Britton and Drew, that's looking awesome.
Wow. Melanie.
Amiko, how's that looking?
Stunning. Alyssa.
Looking good? Nice. Yeah, really nice job. We have the Tampa Wine Crew. Their dough looks...
Friends of Brett, Tampa Wine Crew.
Nice, and that's looking awesome. We got the Tampa Wine Crew. The dough looks like a bowling ball.
Wow. Beautiful.
Perfect. Nice job, guys. Awesome job.
All right. So what we're going to do next is roll this pasta dough out, okay? So first, we need to dust up our work surface, right? So you want to take some flour in your hands and just toss it around this cutting board, okay? Dust that cutting board up. All right. Make sure we get a little dust. Dust the flour onto our rolling pin as well, right? And then you want to make sure your hands are properly dusted too, okay? So what I want you all to do is just take a little sprinkle of flour, dust it in your hands, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have someone assisting you, right, cooking this recipe, or if you're doing it by yourself, I want you to give a nice round of applause, right, to you and everyone over there. Nice. There you go. And as you can see, you're going to get flour everywhere. You get flour on your sous chef. You're going to get flour on your floor, right? Leah and Max doing a great job of that applause over there. Thank you. Nice. So that's important. You want to give them a hand. They've been helping you out the entire time. Mm-hmm. Okay. Kathy, thank you. So what we're going to do next is roll out this pasta. And so, Ryan, that's a great question. Can you use a wine bottle instead of a rolling pin? The answer is yes, 100%. And so the way we're going to roll this dough out, and I'm going to show you, is we're going to roll it to be optimized, right, for tagliatelle cutting. So if you can see, I've got this dough in the middle, And if you have a rolling pin that has handles, you're going to lay on those handles. But if you have a rolling pin like mine, you always want to press down from the very edge of the rolling pin. It just ensures that you give even pressure over the item that you're rolling. And so when we're rolling this pasta dough out, the vast majority of the rolling is going to be in a single direction because I want this pasta sheet to come out really, really long, basically be a rectangle, right? I don't want to yield a circle, which many times happens, right, when we roll out pasta. So in order to do that, I'm just going to roll this dough in one direction to yield a really, really long, skinny rectangle before I start rolling it the other way. And so when you're making tagliatelle, right, or fettuccine or like cut pasta, you all just make sure you have enough flour on there, right? If you're making like a stuffed pasta like agnolotti or raviolis or something, you got to be careful you don't put too much flour on the dough, otherwise it won't stick. But with a pasta like this, like tagliatelle, you want to make sure there's plenty of flour on there because later when we go to cut the pasta, we don't want it to stick to itself. So again, you can see I'm just rolling it in a single direction. Then I'm going to have to turn my dough because I've gone as far as I can go in that direction. So again, just roll that dough out, right? And
Like ludicrous.
Roll out. We're going to be rolling out. And so as you can see, right? Or maybe not as you can see, but the general rule with pasta dough, right, whenever you roll it out by hand is whenever you think the dough is thin enough, just keep rolling it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I guarantee you it's not thin enough. We got to roll this dough out till it's so thin that we can read a piece of paper behind it. So, again, you can see I'm just rolling it in one direction to get it really long and skinny. And you'll see kind of the method to my madness later, right? And again, make sure you're pressing down as you're rolling it. Get that dough nice and thin. And so where was the first time you made tagliatelle there, Jay?
The first time I made tagliatelle, my pasta experience, basically when I was a chef in Georgia, we had an Italian restaurant called La Tavola, and eventually I got to work the pasta station there, and that was my first time really dealing with fresh pastas. But they had a kind of a production kitchen that made all the pastas, and so my first time really making raviolis and tagliatelle was at the French Laundry.
Nice.
And I had always tried to make pasta and kind of really always messed it up. And then when I got to the French Laundry and they had their like tried and proven recipes for the pasta dough, that's where I really learned how to make fresh pasta.
Yeah.
But in terms of making kind of pasta dishes, I remember when I first started working at this restaurant, La Tavola, basically every week I would learn a new recipe. And then my mom lived 5 hours away. And so I would learn a new recipe like carbonara. And then I would buy all the ingredients. And then I would drive 5 hours to go see my mom. My mom and uncle and about 14 people would gather at the house. And we would just put tables together. We didn't really have a table that fit 14 people. And I would cook whatever that dish was, whether it was risotto or carbonara or we did a really nice pomodoro sauce. Beautiful. That was always a lot of fun.
Nice. And so as you can see over here, I've rolled my dough out in a single direction until it's like, I don't know what that is, 2.5 feet long, I guess. I don't know. And then I want to come in here and now I'm going to start rolling this dough vertically. Okay. And what you'll see is you got to get this dough super, super thin, thinner than you think, right? And the reason I had you roll it in that one direction first is because when we go to fold this pasta over and cut that tagliatelle, we want to make sure, right, that all the strands of pasta are kind of similar in length. And this is going to yield like the perfect length of those pasta.
Nice.
So again, just rolling out that dough. And so as you can see over here, the dough is pretty thin, but it is not thin enough. I'm going to tell you that. And kind of the reason for that is because when you put the pasta dough, or when you put this pasta into the water to cook it, the water is going to is going to swell that dough up, right? It's going to become about 2 times thicker than it is when it goes into the pasta pot. Awesome. So as you can see here, I'm coming pretty close. If you can start seeing your countertop through that pasta dough, you know you're onto something there, right?
And when should we go ahead and kick up that pasta water to a boil?
Yeah, so we're going to do it after we cut all this pasta dough, right?
Nice.
Because we're still going to have time to make that sauce, which is going to take a couple minutes. And that'll be a perfect amount of time for this pasta water to go from where it's at to a boil.
And then how about yourself? When's the first time you ever had or made carbonara?
I had it once in Little Italy in Providence, and it was so delicious. So as you can see over here, my dough is getting very, very thin, right? So thin to the point where I'm pretty sure we're at a spot right now where we can read through this dough. We'll see it.
The test is if you can read truffle shuffle through that dough.
Look at that. You guys see that?
Boom.
You see how it says truffle shuffle right there? You see how thin that is? That's how thin you want that pasta to be. Beautiful.
Awesome. So once you guys get it there, go ahead, show us. We're going to spotlight 3 people here. Show us that truffle shuffle. Team Austin, how you guys doing up there? Nice. All right, look at that, Tyler. Team Austin, that's looking pretty thin there.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
All right, Alana, perfect. And then Paul, how you looking? We got Aaron. Let's see, can we see truffle shuffle? We got Cy and Casey. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. And Joe, that's right. Fed Hill. You know that? You know Fed Hill?
And then we got Annette down here. Nice.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Annette, nailing it. All right, awesome job, guys. And so go ahead, keep getting it rolled out as thin as you can. And then Tyler's going to go into showing you guys how to cut this pasta dough.
Yeah. So I know some of you are still rolling that pasta out, which is perfect. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do to cut this pasta dough, okay? So you see I have my beautiful sheet over here.
Oh, yeah, we see it.
What I'm going to do next is just sprinkle some flour right on top of this sheet of pasta. Make sure you give yourself, you can be pretty liberal with the amount of flour that you add. So I'm going to go over here to my sheet tray, right, with my parchment paper. Dust a little flour on there too. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this pasta sheet, right, and fold it. And with every fold, I'm going to make sure to dust a little flour. And this is going to make sure that the pasta doesn't stick when we go to cut it, okay? See that? Folded it once. Now I'm going to fold it again.
Okay. Like a pamphlet?
Almost like a crepe.
Like a crepe.
And then I'm going to fold it one more time.
Okay.
Right? Flour this top. And so again, you want to dust a little flour each time. And so pretty much, I'll show you how we're going to cut this tagliatelle. So I'm going to come over here to this side, right? And this is why I had you roll it rectangular. Can you see that? So I'm gonna come over here and I'm just gonna trim that edge. Just that way all my pastas have that nice square cut. And I'm just gonna cut this pasta about 1/4 inch thick. And again, we're making pasta the handmade style, right? This is not how you, or if you make it in a pasta machine, you use like a little pasta cutter or pasta roller. But honestly, this is a super cool way to do it because it shows you how to do it from start to finish. And it's actually super simple. So if you can see, I'm going to come in here. And now that I have these pasta strands cut, right? I love coming in here and doing that. You see all that beautiful little pasta, that little nest?
Unbelievable.
Right? So again, I'm just going to keep cutting this pasta into that 1/4 inch. Right? And that's why I wanted to make sure that you guys put enough flour in between that sheet of pasta, because that really ensures that it doesn't stick to itself as you're doing this cutting process, right? And you can see with this too, that's why it's important that we cut that pasta dough thin enough. Look at that. Beautiful.
Nice.
So once you have your pasta cut, right, you just want to dust a little bit of flour onto it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Dust a little flour on top and just toss it together, all right? And then make sure you get one of these where you pick up a pasta, right? Hold it up to the camera.
Hold it to the camera.
Look at that.
All right, let's see those, Sarah. That's looking great.
And then I'm just going to transfer this pasta to
Nice.
my cutting board.
Awesome job, ladies.
Look at that. Beautiful.
And so Tyler's getting all that pasta on a cutting board.
Sorry, onto my sheet tray.
Onto his sheet tray. All right, we got Annette in the pasta factory over there. How are you ladies doing?
Oh,
awesome
yeah, look
job.
at that pasta.
All right, who else? Let's see that pasta. We got Madison and Jenny. Kathy nailing it over there. Madison and Jenny, we're coming over there. Awesome job. Nice. Lana, that's looking great. There's some sort of dance happening over here.
Oh yeah, that's the tag. That is the tag with tell dance.
That is the tag dance.
Tag dance, baby.
All right.
Nice. And so I'm just gonna clean up our little work area over here. The flour out of there. Oh, amazing.
And so at this stage, we want to go ahead and get that pot of water up to a boil, okay? So once you get all that tag done, go ahead, turn it all the way up to high, okay?
Yep.
All right. So you guys give us a thumbs up when you're ready to start making that carbonara sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Karen Johnson, that was a very epic thumbs up. Could we see that? Could we see that with some air horns?
Get it.
All right.
Let's get some air horns.
Yeah.
Karen, one more time. We're going to pull some air horns out for you.
Yeah, we got the DJ Khaled horn.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Kathy LaBelle, look at that pasta over there. Look at that.
Look at
Wow.
Yeah,
They got it going on. You guys heard it live from the source. They got it going on at the Labellas.
Yeah, they do. James Atherton, that looks great.
That looks incredible.
Mark's iPhone 7.
We got Mark's iPhone question mark.
Yeah, it's a 7.
It's a 7, I know. It's just funnier as a question mark. And then how about Ann? All right, we got Aaron. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome job, guys.
Rebecca Robertson, I'm not entirely sure if that's tagliatelle. That is a small dog. That's a small dog over there.
The dog looks like it's looking for the music.
That's okay. We're going to make ours later.
Nice.
Nuts. And then we got Nina, Linda, Frank, and Bob.
Look at that.
What is up, guys? Look at that pasta.
In the cucina.
Can we get a little chow?
Can we get a little
Ciao.
chow?
Ciao, ciao.
Nice. Nice. Awesome job. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to go into making this carbonara sauce. And what we're going to do here is get our pan on low to medium heat, okay? And we're going to take that olive oil. Once it heats up, we're going to get that olive oil in the pan. And then we got to start rendering this guanciale.
Pancetta. So we're
Pancetta.
using the pancetta over here. We're going to render it out and kind of caramelize it just a little bit.
And so I'm going in with this olive oil. I want to make sure it gets a little hot first, okay? I don't want to add this pancetta while the pan is cold. So it's warming up here.
Yes. There you go.
Jessica and Ricardo, you'll add all that olive oil we sent you.
Yeah, all the olive oil that we send over to you goes in the pan.
Yep. And then Sarah had a clever joke back there. Sarah, what was your joke? You want to type it in the chat for us? All right. So now you guys see it's warmed up, and you can tell by the legs on it, right? And you can also tell if you put your hand close to the pan but not touching the pan. If your hand gets warm, that means the pan is warm. Just a little bit of silence there for you guys. All right. So now I'm in with my pancetta, and we're gonna get this on a medium to high heat once you get the pancetta in there, and we're gonna render out this pancetta. And so Tyler, why do we want to render this pancetta?
So when we talk about rendering pancetta, basically, as you can see, pancetta has a good amount of fat in it, right? Because it's the belly of the pork. And so with that, in order to make this sauce, we got to take some of that solid fat, right? The solid animal fat. And when we heat it up, it becomes liquid, okay? And what we're doing is two things. One, we want to get a little bit of brown on that pancetta to add to that flavor. Oh, and then also we got to add some heat to it to make because pancetta, honestly, if you don't cook it, it's just super chewy. And then also the fat from the pancetta really thickens up the sauce. And you'll see, we'll talk more a little bit later about the sauce emulsifying, right? But anytime you add sauce and you emulsify into, or anytime you add fat and you emulsify into a sauce, it thickens the sauce up and makes it really nice.
Nice. You're saying the fat will render out from this pancetta and actually will help thicken our sauce.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. If any of you have ever made mayonnaise before or aioli, we're actually making aioli next week. But if you've ever made aioli, you know that the more oil you add to the aioli, the thicker it gets. And honestly, that's the same with all sauces. Anytime you add butter to a sauce or you add animal fat, right? Any liquid fat, once it emulsifies, it makes the sauce thicker. Pretty cool.
All right, so this is rendering out here. It's going good, but it needs a little bit longer. And what I like to do when I'm rendering out something like this is I let it sit for a couple seconds, and then I stir it for a couple seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And that keeps it moving, right? Nice and groovy, as they say. And what it does is allows it to cook the fat out and heat the pan up, right? And then we move it and make sure we got even cooking happening there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. We got some.
There you go. Perfect. And so you actually want to get a little brown on that pancetta as you're cooking it. So Kathy LaBella over there, you are doing an amazing job cooking that pancetta. Look at that. That's perfect. See how she's kind of frying that pancetta in that pan? Oh my gosh. Nice job. So we're coming back over here. And you guys see how Jason keeps stirring that pancetta when it's in that pan? That helps make sure that the pancetta cooks evenly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
And so at this stage, remember, you want that pot of water up to a boil.
Yep.
Okay? Coming up to a boil, full heat. That pasta's looking great.
Yes.
At this stage, you should be developing a little bit of fond on the bottom of that pan.
Yeah. And by fond, what do you mean by that?
So fond is kind of those remnants that stick to the bottom of a pan, right? And what it is essentially flavor that develops and caramelizes on the bottom of that pan. And it's a chef's secret, right? If you know the right way to utilize fond when you're cooking stuff, you can sear a steak, deglaze it with a little bit of white wine, make a beautiful sauce, right? And so here, we got a little bit of this pancetta fond, and we'll actually deglaze this with some of the juice from the onions. And so what do you think, Tyler? We're getting a really nice caramelization here.
Yeah, nice. Looks great.
And so I'm very close here. We got a couple more seconds, all right? And then we'll add our onions. As you guys can see, they're rendered, and then they're starting to get basically crispy. The little bits are starting to get crispy, and that's perfect.
Yep.
And so do I need to go ahead and drain this fat out, or am I going to leave all this fat in the pan?
Nope. So you want to leave all the fat that's in that pan. You're going to leave it in there because it's really going to help with that sauce. Okay. Beautiful.
Perfect.
And so we got our pancetta rendering over there. You want look at that. So you guys see how it's shrunk up in size, right? It's a lot smaller than it was when we put it in.
Yep.
You see how it's we've kind of fried that pancetta in that pan.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down to low heat.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna give it a nice stir. Make sure the pan cools down a touch.
Yep.
And then we're gonna go into adding these shallots.
Beautiful. Amazing.
And when I add the shallots, I'm gonna really scrape the bottom of this pan to kind of free up any of that fond.
Yeah, and so the fond, right, which fond in French means base, like foundation, right? And honestly, a lot of the best sauces are made with those little brown bits at the bottom of the pan. They're like flavor concentrate, right? And so the way that the fond releases from the bottom of the pan is when you introduce water, right? And so with this, when we add the shallots to the pan, the natural liquid that's in the shallot comes out as it cooks, and it kind of micro deglazes the bottom of that pan. And you'll see after you add the shallot, and we're just cooking it on low heat. We turn it down to low. After you add that shallot, the fond is going to be easy to kind of scrape up.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
So I got this here. I'm going to go ahead and add, once I get my shallot cooked, I'm going to add all my cream. Okay, so if you guys want to take a second, check out how this is looking.
Nice.
So you guys see, and when I smell it smells awesome.
Yeah, and so the shallot, you're basically, all you're looking for is the shallot to soften up and to become nice and translucent, okay?
Mm-hmm. Very simple.
And it cooks very quickly. That's why we chopped it up we chopped it up really fast, really small.
And so now I got my pancetta rendered and crispy. I got my shallot nice and cooked, right? Now I'm going to go in with all of the cream that we sent you.
Oh, yeah. And if any of your creams separated a little bit, that's just fine. Honestly, we use kind of a more artisan creamery that we work with. And so that happens in really natural, non-homogenized cream is that it will separate a little bit.
Casey's got it. She's shaking it.
There you go. Casey's
Nice.
shaking it.
Nice job shaking it.
Yeah,
over
and so
there.
Sarah, you want to add all the cream that we sent you.
Yep, there's 2 creams. You want to add both of them.
Yep.
Beautiful. And then, awesome. And so now, Tyler, all we want to do is bring this up to a nice boil, right?
Yep. And so you'll see, we've added all the cream in. We're going to bring that sauce to a boil. And what's going to happen is we're going to emulsify all that fat from the pancetta into that cream. And it's actually going to thicken the cream up.
Mm-hmm.
So just look at it. It's always super cool to watch. Right now, before your sauce starts boiling, your sauce looks pretty liquidy, right?
Right.
But just wait. Bring that sauce to a boil and stir it up. and it'll get nice and thick. And so Jordan and Jacob, that is a great question. Are we supposed to add salt? So we're not adding any salt quite yet because the pancetta has a good amount of salt in it naturally, right?
Yeah.
It's like bacon. Like you never need salt for bacon because it's a cured product, right? And then when we're making this dish, we're gonna add salt at the very end, right? Because we're gonna add a little pasta water to our sauce. The pasta water is gonna be lightly seasoned, right? So that's how we're getting our layered seasoning in there.
And so right now I'm on medium-high heat, and I want to boil this for about 30 seconds, right?
Yeah. You just want to bring it up to a boil and stir it together. And so you see over here, right, that sauce starts to thicken up, right, once it comes to a boil. And again, when I say thicken up, it's just slightly thicker than it was before.
Yeah.
And so that's all you want over there. Perfect.
And so you guys see this here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm taking this off the heat. And if you guys taste this onion pancetta cream, it is unbelievable. Just alone like this, it comes out so nice.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome.
And so I'll bring this pot of pasta water up here.
Beautiful. So again, that's our sauce right there. Oh man. Looking so good. So if you have your sauce, if you have your cream up to the boil and your sauce off to the side, we would love to see a thumbs up. And so Britton and Drew, we have not cooked the pasta yet. We're about to get there. Nice. Cy and Casey, look at that over there.
Let's see that sauce.
Let's see it. Where is it?
Don't pour it on your laptop though. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Look at that. Beautiful. Kathy LaBella.
Leah and Max, that is looking great.
Absolutely stunning. We got Rebecca over here with the little chef.
All right. And now they have found a small baby.
They've found a small baby as well as the small dog.
Incredible. Just wait till you guys see what they have when we come back over there.
Jessica and Ricardo, that looks perfect.
That's perfect, guys.
That's perfect.
Nailing it.
Nailing it.
Way to go.
Natasha and David.
Natasha and David, there is some sort of precarious pasta rolling happening in the background over there, but that sauce looks awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We got Madison and Jenny. Jenny, let's see that sauce.
Annette, that's beautiful.
All right, Jenny, we're coming over there.
Nice.
Awesome job. Awesome job.
There you go. And then over here, Loretta. Look at this.
Oh, don't pour it.
Oh, there you go. Be careful.
Awesome job, guys.
Team Raj, look at that.
Boom.
Excellent.
Straight from Germany. All right. So you guys give us a thumbs up if you are ready to cook this pasta.
Oh, yeah.
The excitement does not stop over here.
Yeah.
We got Miss Kusa. And then I currently have my mother yelling at the camera. Mom, Sarah is going to reach out to you. Do not worry. She will get you taken care of, okay?
Yeah. And so Mark, the sauce you don't actually want it to be too thick at this point. You'll notice, because later on, we're going to add some egg yolks, right, which will actually thicken that sauce up. Okay?
Awesome.
Beautiful. So, over here, as you can see, I have my pot of water boiling, right? And so what we're going to do now is cook this pasta, right? So in order to do that, first, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to my pasta water, okay?
Yep. And
Just
if you guys
lightly seasoned.
If you guys want, we can do a quick recap, okay? You guys have all worked very hard. There's a very difficult recipe. You nailed it. We'll do a quick little recap over here. So right now you have your pasta rolled out and cut on the tray, right? That tray has a little wax paper. That's going to help us pick it up. Okay. You got your sauce. You rendered that pancetta. You cooked the shallot. You added your cream. You brought that to a quick boil. And now that is off the heat, right? And then you have your peas chopped, and then you got your pot of water, and that pot of water is up to a boil.
Yep, and lightly seasoned.
And then ingredients we haven't used yet, we got our egg yolks to finish, a little bit of Parmesan, that lemon, and that Tartufata, okay?
Beautiful. All right, so my water is lightly seasoned over here. And what I'm gonna do next is add my pasta, okay? So in order to do that, I'm just gonna come in here, and as you can see, I'm just gonna pick up the pasta like this, right? And just dump it into that pot of water and stir it up, okay?
Oh.
And we're just gonna go ahead and set a 2-minute timer on the screen, right? And you'll see when we cook this pasta like this, I know some of you have kind of heard about using, and I know Pino was talking about it too, like you use that pasta cooking water, right? And so what's gonna happen is that residual flour from that pasta is in this water, right? It's gonna slightly thicken that pasta water up just a little bit. It's nice and lightly seasoned too. And we're actually gonna use a little bit of that pasta cooking water to finish this sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So again, you want to make sure to give it a little stir. Nice. And so we're just cooking it for 2 minutes. And so fresh pasta always cooks way faster than dried pasta, right? Nice, that looks good. It always cooks way faster than dried pasta. And honestly, with fresh pasta too, wouldn't you say it stays al dente a little easier sometimes too than dried pasta does?
Yeah, it's a touch forgiving.
Yeah, you can kind of cook it. You got a little bit of a window, right? Because basically dried pasta gets completely hydrated, right? Whereas fresh pasta already has that water in it. So all you're doing is just cooking it, right? So it does take a little bit more cooking time than dry pasta. At least I've noticed, you know? So, beautiful. But honestly, that all being said, 2 minutes in here. And that is going to be absolutely perfectly al dente.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we got, what, 10 seconds left?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And when do you want to add the peas?
So first, I'm going to remove some of this pasta cooking water, okay? So I'm just going to come in here, and you just want to take about a ½ cup of that cooking water and get it into your sauce, okay? See that? It's about a ½ cup of that cooking water, okay? And so now I'm at the very end of my cooking process. So all I'm going to do next is just add all of my peas, right? Just give them a quick stir. This is, we're just giving them a very, very fast blanch, right? And now I'm gonna go ahead and drain all of this pasta. I'm gonna drain it off. Nice.
Nice. And so right now we are on step number 5.
Nice. So you can see over here, I got my pasta drained with those beautiful little peas in there.
Nice.
All right. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to finish up this sauce. All right. So we are in the final stages of the cooking process.
This is the final countdown.
We're in the final countdown. All right. So if you have your pasta cooked, right, drained, you've added that ½ cup of that cooking water to your sauce, we would love to see a thumbs up. And then we will bring us together, right, to the end of the recipe.
Give us one of these.
Oh, yeah.
A little thumb wink.
Oh, yeah. Thumb winks, please.
We have the Devika and her thumbs up dance happening down there. Awesome. We got Karen and David up there dancing it up. Everybody's very happy. The pasta is almost ready. And then how about Mary Beth? How are you guys looking?
Nice. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and take all of that tartufata that we sent to you, and we're going to get it all into this pan with this sauce.
Nice.
All right? Everything.
Oh.
So again, this tartufata, beautiful braised button mushrooms, right? Black truffles, a little bit of shallot,
all that good
some
stuff.
thyme, all the delicious things. I'm switching over to a whisk at this point, and I'm just going to turn the heat up on this guy and just bring it to a boil, okay? So again, I just took that sauce, added this tartufata to it. I'm just going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to finish this sauce with egg yolks, right? And I know some of you have had carbonara before where they add a raw egg yolk at the very end. And honestly, I love it like that. But you got to make sure that the pasta is super, super hot when you do that. That way it kind of cooks that egg yolk.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually going to thicken this sauce here with the egg yolks, which I'm going to show you how to do right now.
Okay, nice.
Beautiful. So, again, added my tartufata. And you guys can see over here, you see my sauce has come to a boil?
Oh.
Yeah?
Stunning.
You want to make sure it comes all the way to a full boil, right? And kind of get your whisk in there a little bit, whisk it together, right? Look at that. Looking great. So once your sauce is boiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys want to watch me as I do this, basically what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn the heat off on my sauce, and I'm going to whisk my egg yolk into this sauce. So if you just want to watch me do it. So I've turned my sauce off, right?
Okay.
It's nice and hot still, okay? And it's on this burner, which is hot too.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do next is very slowly just stream in that egg yolk that we sent to you and whisk it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're finishing this sauce with that egg yolk, right? And so in French, we call this a liaison, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're
thicken.
We're liaising the finished sauce. And so you'll see when you first add that egg yolk, it's still a little thin. But as the residual heat from that pan cooks that egg, it's actually going to thicken up. And you're basically making a very tiny little custard in the bottom of that pan.
Wow. You can totally tell that it's thickening.
Yeah. Really cool. You guys see that? And again, you want to make sure when you add the eggs, you want the pan to be off the heat. You don't want to keep boiling it because it might cook the eggs. It's not going to be the end of the world. It just means you get a little kind of scrambled eggs in there.
Yeah. Not as nice and luscious as creamy as it could be.
Exactly. So we have this looking beautiful. What I'm going to do next is grate half of my Parmesan cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to grate half of it in. We're going to do half of this Parmesan cheese in the sauce and half on the pasta at the end.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And so right now we're finishing the sauce. It is a quick process because that's kind of the magic to making carbonara.
Yep.
And so once we get, Tyler gets that sauce done, we'll do a nice little recap, okay?
Yep. So I've come in here, right? I've liaised my egg yolk into my sauce. And I'm just going to hit this. I'm just going to zest like half of this lemon into this sauce because personally I really like adding that lemon flavor. It helps lighten everything up, right? And then last, all we got to do is fold this pasta into our sauce.
Awesome. So what do you think? Before we add the pasta, give them a little recap?
Yeah.
Or as you're adding it, I can give them a nice little recap here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to fold this pasta in just that way it doesn't get sticking to itself, right? And I know we went through a lot of steps quickly, but do not worry. And then, Ilana, we can come in there and chat with you. Just make sure you're on the same track as us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
So for that carbonara sauce, for everything we sent you guys, you first rendered the pancetta, added the shallot, added the cream, right? Mom, are you listening? And so then we added the cream. We brought that up to a quick boil. And then we took it off the heat. We cooked the pasta. And then when we put it back on the stove, what we did is we added a third cup of that pasta water, right? We added a third cup of that pasta water, brought it back up to a simmer, and then Tyler added the tartufata, and then we liated the egg yolk into that. And basically what liade means is we lightly cooked it while continuously whisking it. And then we thickened it with half of that Parmesan, and then we added half of that lemon zest.
Oh, yeah. And so we're going to go ahead. We got the final stages over here. We're going to go ahead and plate it up. And then, yeah, again, if anyone has any questions, we will come in there, get them all answered. But
it looks like Kathy's looking great. Leah and Matt's looking great.
People are looking great.
Melanie's looking awesome over there.
And so this is a pretty exciting and certainly very Italian moment. And I don't know what else better to signify this moment than a little accordion music. Oh, yes. Look at that. It's like I'm in Rome right now. Ooh. Wow. Stunning. And you want to make sure you get that little spatula right, get all that sauce that's in there. Oh, yeah. Right? Make sure you get that sauce on there. Oh, my gosh. And then just like we said, the other half of that Parmesan cheese, we're just going over the top. And I love cooking pasta like this because the sauce just sticks to the pasta. There's not like a pool of sauce at the bottom. It's all stuck to the pasta. It's my favorite.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And then the very last move is you can add a little pinch of that Balinese Truffle Salt.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. And so we got this pasta dish here. We're going to hold this up to the camera. You guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go in and get a little, really kind of show you guys that twirl. You guys see that action there? Wow, Tyler. Look at this. I'm going to grab a couple little bowls. We're going to divvy this up. We're going to give you guys a second, okay? As soon as you get that pasta plated, we want to see that pasta.
Yeah, we want to see that pasta. Please, if you could go ahead, show us your pasta after you have it plated. Look at that. Leah and Max. Oh my gosh, look at that carbonara. Cy and Casey. Stunning carbonara. Kathy LaBella coming in there. Look at that carbonara.
Nice.
Look at that.
Melanie's looking awesome.
Makuza one.
Makuza, how is that pasta?
Makuza, how is that pasta?
Can we get a thumbs up over there? I think he's liking it.
He's like, leave me alone, I'm trying to eat.
And then we got Annie. We got Annie Werner. She wants to know how you did that pasta twirl. Sean and Ann, that's looking awesome.
Annie Werner,
we're coming over there.
Let's see your pasta twirl.
Nice.
Oh, dude, look at how that pasta came
Look
out
how
over
good
there.
you did.
Nice job. Sarah. Oh, yeah, look at that. Stunning. Matthew Lenz.
Matthew, that looks awesome. And then Alana, do you want us to come over there and assist with anything?
Yeah, Alana, how's that pasta looking?
How is it looking?
I was going to say, I want to see it.
Oh,
oh my gosh, look at that
incredible
pasta.
Job.
Wow. Then we're coming back here.
We got Raj,
Loretta.
Let's see that pasta over there.
We got the whole family over here.
Unbelievable. Look at that little chef's hat.
There you go. All right, Gary. Wow.
Wow, look at that pasta in the sunset.
Look at that bowl. All right. Raj, can we see that pasta again, please? Nice. There you go. Beautiful. All right. Linda, Nina, Frank, Bob. How's it going over there?
Frank and Bob, how is it going? They just had 1 second, just one moment.
Justin Mitchell.
Justin Mitchell, let's see that pasta. Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, Team Austin, before you eat that entire thing, can we see that pasta, please?
And we got Mark's iPhone question mark.
Oh my gosh, Aaron Hupp. Let's see that.
Wow, look at that artsy plate.
Wow, I like that. There you go, Jordan and Jacob Posner. All right, here for the food. There you go. The food is there now.
Nice. You got what you came here for.
Yeah, you did.
Jessica and Ricardo, look at that. They are date night, not even leaving the kitchen to eat this dish. Awesome job. Awesome job, guys. And then how about Tiffany? Tiffany, how's it looking up there? Unbelievable. You guys absolutely nailed it. Annie, super proud of you. We got the entire La Bella household over there.
Look at that.
And then how about Mary Beth McKinney? How is that pasta looking?
Oh,
nice, Danny. Unbelievable.
Way to go, Danny.
Round of applause.
You got 2 minutes?
Awesome. All right, who else have we not seen here? Leah and Max?
Pasta. Wow.
Okay, we're coming over there. And then we got some pasta, some grating action.
Wow.
John Mahoney, you're doing a great job. And then we got Karen and David. What is up, Karen and David? Look
Karen
at
and
that
David.
carbonara.
Yes.
Awesome. And then we got Monte Gonzale.
Monte Gonzale.
Monte Gonzale.
Look at that dish.
Wow.
Pasta.
James Atherton, thank you for joining us. Wow. You guys absolutely nailed it.
Nice.
Very quickly, we're going to tell you about what we're doing next week. And then when we come back, we're going to have a couple of songs. So, Tyler, why don't you tell them about next week?
So next week, we are actually going to bring Labor Day weekend in Maine directly to you. We're going to bring back one of our fan favorites, which is the lobster roll.
The lobster roll.
Right? It's going to be just like when we went to Kennebunkport, right? And we went on that wicked nice vacation. We had such a good time. So we're going to bring that lobster roll to you. Maine lobster meat, right? We're using brioche buns from La Boulangerie over here, right, in San Francisco, which is awesome. And then we're going to give you all bags of our white cheddar and truffle kettle corn.
Oh,
love to know what you guys think about it.
And so we're going to drop that link in the chat. And super cool, you can add on caviar to this. We also have 20 live lobsters you can add on. And it's pretty cool. Me and Sarah actually went to Maine to go get these lobsters. And so, Brett, you want to show them that nice little video we got of us going to Maine?
Hey guys, Sarah from Truffle Shuffle. We're out here on the coast of Maine, getting you the best lobsters for this week's lobster roll. Jason somewhere. We're doing an awesome take on a Cape Cod cocktail to really bring it home. I gotta help Jason. We'll see you on Sunday.
We got some lobsters.
Oh my.
All right,
I'll see you next week.
And so we'll finish it off with a couple songs from our friend here. dancing.